Hey, podcast listeners. This is episode 70. Woohoo, we made it. It's such a milestone. And this episode was completely just brought in through the guidance, through the angels. It's all about how all of this was necessary. Everything we've been experiencing is completely necessary for our evolution and our awakening. So please stay tuned through the whole episode. I think that you're going to really enjoy it.
You are listening to Let's Get Metaphysical. This podcast explores the spiritual and metaphysical world through the experiences and opinions of the host and those interviewed. It should not necessarily be seen as direct endorsement or personal advice to our listeners. We encourage you to use your own discernment, judgment, and intuition regarding anything you learn from this show.
Let's get meta.
Welcome to Let's Get Metaphysical. I'm your host, Renata Maniaci, here to remind you that you are an eternal light being who is temporarily stuffed into a human body here on lovely planet Earth. It's only temporary. Enjoy it. Well, there's a lot going on in the world right now, folks. We are certainly in a moment of truth, a tipping point. Massive transition is happening, and massive transformation is happening. A massive awakening continues to unfold before us. So I'm going to talk about some of those things today. And I also wanted to share with you a present, a gift that I have for you, that I've created. As you know, I use this podcast, the mission of this podcast, the intention is to raise the vibration of the world by normalizing metaphysical and spiritual experiences and sharing them. And to help you along with this, I have created a Let's Get Meta Master Clearing. And this is my gift to you. Some of you know I see clients. I've seen clients for energy medicine for several years now. And most of my work is remote now. So I have created a master clearing for you. Removing blocks to you connecting to the spiritual and metaphysical world in the most positive and high vibe way possible. And it also helps to clear you to see and hear and feel and know more truth. This is my gift to you. To claim your gift, go to letsgetmeta.com and you will see a button there that says Master Clearing. And you just click the button to gain access to the Master Clearing. And I really hope you enjoy it. It was a very powerful thing for me to record. And I truly hope that it helps you in your path and on your way. Masters and angels, I request your presence for this episode. Please help all of us, myself and everyone listening, to know the truth, feel the truth, tell the truth, and be the truth. Thank you with gratitude and full faith. Bless creation. So let's jump right into it. Are you ready? Let's get meta. This was all necessary. Everything that we have been through in this past 12 months, in this past year, in this past decade, in the past century, everything that we have been through has been necessary for our growth, both collectively and individually. And this may sound upsetting to some people, that anything that we have gone through has been necessary. Anything that we have seen unfold before our eyes, anything that we've had to endure or watch or participate in or observe, All of this has been necessary for us to grow and learn the lessons that we came here to learn on this planet. And this particular lifetime is a very special one because it is very clear to me that not only have we incarnated to be on this planet for our own individual growth, for our own soul's journey, our own soul's purpose and experience. It is very obvious to me that we have incarnated at this time for a very special purpose, at a very unique moment in our little corner of the universe, at this turning point, this tipping point, this transformation that we are all going through right now. And you've heard me talk about this over and over on this podcast. But what is coming in today is about the necessity of all of it. The necessity on the 3D level. Oh my gosh, the 3D level. Everything that we have seen, every movement we have followed, every person we have trusted, every law that we have loved or despised, every school that we've attended, everything that we were taught, every movie we've ever watched, every TV show, every talk show, every news channel, all of it was necessary. All of these steps that we've taken through, if we just look at 2020, the COVID, the fear, the lockdowns, the masks, the vaccinations, the separation from your family, from your friends, the isolation, the virtualness of having to be on the screen to see other people that are not immediately living with you. There are many levels at which all of this was necessary. And I posit here that everything that's happening, everything that has happened, everything that is happening now, and everything that is about to happen is necessary for so many reasons on so many different levels. To stick with the 3D, we have needed to experience everything for our own personal growth and for our collective growth. And what an amazing configuration and conglomeration and coming together, because we are all unique, we're all individuals, we all have our own life path and our own purpose and our own raisons d'être and all of it, our own reasons for being. And yet we have come to this planet at this time to share in this most monumental and transformative moment in the Earth's history. And that makes us all unique and special on some level to be here on this planet. If you are here, if you're listening to my voice, you're a soul on this planet, embodied, incarnated at this time. And everything that you have endured was necessary for you and us to help us to wake up and to transform and to raise our vibration and to remember why we are here. Everything in unfolding, everything unfolding in front of us right now needs to happen. All the chaos, all the disinformation and misinformation, all of the censorship, all of the rioting and fraud and confusion and seemingly separation tactics. All of this is necessary. On a 3D level, this is all for us to wake up. It's all for us to remember why we are here. It's all to remember that basic, very fundamental truth of love. Love thy neighbor. So many things trying to separate us and put one against the other for any reason. Any reason. They're making up any reason to pit us against each other. And then we get to go back to this fundamental rule of love. Love your neighbor for exactly where they are in their evolution. Whatever judgment or projection that you are putting on them right now, you can let that all fall away because they are a soul just like you, going through what is necessary for them to awaken. They have their growth experiences that they must endure, and so do you. And these experiences look very different on an individual level, and they look interestingly similar on a collective level. We are all going through a massive transformation right now. An awakening is taking place on this planet. Whether you're spiritual or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's so many things happening on the unseen level that are affecting each and every one of us. And I don't pretend to know exactly what the end game looks like, but I have so much knowing and faith that it is, in the very most general of terms, a higher vibration, a higher level of being, a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of clarity, and a whole lot more bliss. That is why all of this is necessary right now. You don't need to understand it. You don't. Your mind does not need to understand it because there is too much. And there's so many different ways to see this. There's so many different ways to perceive what is happening. It calls to mind that allegory with the blindfolded people in the room, and they're all feeling a different part of an elephant. They're all saying, oh, this is a tree, or oh, this is a blah, blah, blah. We are all having different perspectives of what is happening right now. Completely different perspectives. But we're all looking at the same thing. It's the same thing. And I have this sneaking suspicion that the blindfolds are about to come off. And don't ask me about timelines. We've talked about this before. Time is very interesting right now. I'm not going to say this week or this month or first part of the year. But I have a sneaking suspicion that the blindfolds are coming off soon. And we will all open our eyes and see what it is that we have been feeling, hearing, smelling, sensing, knowing, and seeing to some extent. What is it? What is it truly? And I'm very excited for that moment. I'm very excited because it's time. I've been feeling it growing in my soul. This moment drawing nearer and nearer and nearer, of literally eyes opening, an awakening, a massive, massive awakening. And yes, this is my business in some sense. Our production company is Up and Awaken Productions. Yes, I do fully feel like this is the reason I came to the planet, to help with this in some small way. And so my soul is excited, very excited. I don't begin to imagine how this will be for everyone. And I don't pretend to know exactly what's going to happen. I do not. But we are certainly at this tipping point, this precipice, this moment of truth. And we've all taken different paths to get here on an individual level. So many different paths. So many paths that followed one thing and not the other. So many dualities have existed for us on this planet in this lifetime. All of these paths on some level are leading to the same thing. Our individual lessons may look very unique and different from each other's, but our collective lessons, our collective purpose is very much the same. And on a 5D perspective, a fifth dimensional perspective, those listening to this podcast know that I talk about 3D and 5D a lot, and how, in my view, the great awakening that is happening right now on this planet is our literal transition, literal, physical, all of the ways, transition from a more third dimensional reality to a more fifth dimensional reality. And it's simply a shift in ways of being. And it is described in physics. A higher dimensional reality. A faster frequency and vibration. Which comes with a whole lot of awesome stuff that I think most people will really love. And again, I don't pretend to know exactly what that looks like. However, from a 5D perspective, we have all on some level chosen to be here for this moment. If you are still here in the physical, you've chosen to be here for this moment. On some level, you are ready for this. Your soul can handle this. Even if your human mind has no idea what is going on, no idea what to trust, who to trust, what to believe, how to understand what is happening and what will continue to unfold. Fifth dimensional reality, this is all perfect. We're all doing our jobs. We're all playing our roles. We're playing our roles. Whatever we came here to do, if we were cast in the role, and I'll be very dualistic at this moment, but it's not as simple as that. But if you were cast in the role as a villain, and you've been playing that role, you're doing your job. If you're cast in the role of a hero, you're doing your job. You were cast in the role of someone who has no idea what's going on. You're doing your job. If you were cast in the role of a rioter, on some level, you're doing your job. If you were cast in the role of somebody who is labeled a conspiracy theorist, on some level, you're doing your job. Everyone right now is doing their job so that all of us can wake up. All of us can wake up and be here for this transition. Be here for this transition moment. And on a human level, we have no idea what that looks like and why. This has never happened. I suppose there is a possibility that some souls on Earth have done this before, this kind of transition. Maybe there's a whole group of souls on this Earth who go from planet to planet and help. They're the transition team. They help to transition planets from a lower vibration to a higher vibration. That thought has come in recently. Hey, cool. The transition team is here to help, But for the grand majority of souls, I think this is a very special and unique moment that you haven't experienced before. And of course, certainly on this level, on this 3D lifetime that you're currently hearing me through your human ears from, you haven't experienced what is happening right now. Absolutely. But I don't feel like many, and certainly not most souls, I don't think most souls have experienced this type of vibrational shift in the universe on any planet that you may have incarnated to previous to this one. And the Earth has certainly gone through transitions and transformations in her history. So maybe in a previous incarnation you were here for something like that. But this is a special moment. It's a very special moment. And we get to be here for it. And we get to play our role, whatever that is. And it is all necessary. It's all necessary. No matter who you're believing right now, or what you think is true, or, why is it unfolding like this? Or you're so certain that something is going to happen, but actually it doesn't happen in the way that you expect it to. Whatever role you're playing, wherever you are right now, is perfect. It's perfect. And everything that has happened is so perfectly divine. And I don't mean that in a condescending way at all. I am very much coming from a vibration of the things that we experience are here for us. Things that happen for us. They don't happen to us. That is my way of seeing the world. If something happens to you that you feel like is negative, you can choose to see it as negative and happening to you. I think I just said happens to you. Or you can see it as happening for you and try to find the lesson in it and elevate from it, be empowered by it, raise up on it, learn from it, move beyond it, above and beyond. And then you don't have to do it again. That doesn't need to happen again in the same way or in a very similar way. If something keeps happening to you over and over and over and over again, maybe it's exactly the same or maybe it's just slightly different each time, you're not learning something. It's how the universe works. It's something that keeps coming round so that you can adjust and evolve and overcome it. And we're coming to a precipice right now, the moment of truth. If only it were just a moment, right? I don't know how that will shake out. I feel like it won't be one moment of truth. Maybe a year, maybe 5 years, maybe a decade. Or maybe it is a moment. It could look like that. Maybe there is one moment that's just bing, and we all see it. I don't know. But the message for today is that it is all necessary to wake us up. And so, wherever you are right now, in your own evolution, in your own beliefs, in your own constructs, in your own understanding of reality, in your own perception of what you are seeing, tasting, touching, you might not even you most likely actually don't even feel as though you are blindfolded or have been blindfolded, and that is okay. I'm not here to tell people that you were blindfolded. I will say that I was blindfolded, and that every moment that I was blindfolded was necessary. Every single moment was necessary for me. And you know what? I could still be blindfolded because I don't know everything. Oh my gosh. With each passing day, I feel like I know less and less, which is kind of a blessing because as I'm accepting that I know less and less and less of what I thought I knew, it actually it puts me in a very vulnerable and humble space, an open space, a more curious space. I admit that I have definitely had a I'm right program in the past. I'm sure I still carry it. But with each passing day, I'm seeing things happen that I didn't know about, and I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and I don't know what's going to happen the next day. And just being in that vulnerable, open, humble, and neutral space, becoming more and more neutral. And how is that happening? For me, that's happening because I am becoming more and more trusting and faithful that the universe has got this. I don't think we're on some forsaken planet in a dark corner of the universe, although maybe we're coming out of that now. But I think the universe has got our back, our collective back. And so it enables me to be more open and neutral and curious about what's going to unfold, because I don't know what's going to unfold, but I do know that I trust in the universe. I have full faith in the universe. I really do. So, from someone who had a lot of expectations and attachments to how things should go, a lot of opinions, a lot of this is right and this is wrong, a lot of this person is good, this person is not so good. It's a very nice space to be in, to feel a form of calm that I know that I would not have been able to experience 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I'm excited to see how this unfolds. And I don't even think in my wildest dreams I could have predicted it. Blessings to you all. Thank you for being on this journey. I actually want to thank your souls directly, your high selves. Thank you so much for incarnating on this planet at this time. I don't feel it was the easiest of missions to do that, or the easiest of growth experiences, perhaps. But on some level, you did choose to do it, and I honor you for that. So let us continue to be open and curious as these next days and weeks and months unfold before us. Let us try to be non-reactive. If possible, let us allow whatever fear and negativity and pain and any kind of lower vibration that no longer has a home in you, in your soul, in your body, in your muscles, in your bones. Let us allow these vibrations to come up gracefully with as much ease and grace as possible, and let them be transformed into light. Let all negativity burn away, individually and for the collective, and let us be there for each other, no matter who it is, no matter whether you agree with them or not on a human level. No matter what, let us be there. Let us love our neighbors. One human family, one soul family. Bless creation. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you for being with me through this season, Season 6, The Moment of Truth, my first completely solo season. So far, so good. It's been fun. Yeah, I really do feel a lot of energy in this season, so thank you for listening. I again want to remind you of my gift to you, my free gift to you, which is the Let's Get Meta Master Clearing. And you can find that at www.letsgetmeta.com. And right there at the top of the homepage, you will see a button that says Master Clearing, and that is just for you. And it's powerful. And if you're new to energy work, I explain how to experience this. So you're all set. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you got something out of it. Thank you so much for listening. Stay positive, stay safe, love your neighbor, and stay meta.
The Let's Get Metaphysical podcast is an Up, and Awaken production. Our intention is to raise the vibration of the planet by sharing, validating, and normalizing spiritual and metaphysical experiences. The show is produced and hosted by Renata Maniaci, co-creator of Up, and Awaken Productions, a platform devoted to creating conscious content to assist in the awakening currently taking place on this planet. If you want to see more from Up, and Awaken, please subscribe to the Up, and Awaken Productions channel on YouTube. If you're looking for more support in your awakening process, please consider becoming a member of our Up, and Awaken community on Patreon. Patrons in this community both give support to the conscious content that we create, like this podcast, and receive support in their awakening via the community's offerings, including courses, live group healings, and an interactive community. You can join the Up, and Awaken community by visiting patreon.com/Up, and Awaken. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. Give us a 5-star rating or write us a review on your podcast app. To learn more, visit our website at letsgetmeta.com. The Let's Get Meta podcast is almost entirely listener supported. If you love the show and want to support it, you can still become a patron of the podcast at patreon.com/Up, and Awaken. We appreciate all types of support. It helps keep this show going. Thank you for listening. Stay meta.
Let's get meta. Metaphysical. Let's get meta. Metaphysical. Let's get meta. Metaphysical. Let's get meta. Metaphysical.